Thank you for tuning in to another video. Here on Clips, we take pride in bringing you the best content, covering fascinating topics that everyone can appreciate. If you're skeptical about President Trump's tariffs against China, watch this video. You'll see that this action was long overdue. The Democrats risk undermining America if they don't change their mindset. Now, let's dive into the discussion. For far too long, America has been its own worst enemy. Our leaders have made hollow promises of prosperity while shipping jobs overseas, dismantling the middle class, and leaving the working class struggling. Wages have stagnated, healthcare costs have skyrocketed, and the American dream feels increasingly out of reach. Corporate greed and political inaction have eroded our communities, leaving us divided, distracted, and drowning in debt. Yet, one voice, a Chinese businessman, breaks through the noise with a truth we must confront.
They rob you blind, and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulated the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back.
His words resonate because they are true. This isn't just about China. It's about us. Our leaders and corporate elites have betrayed the American people, prioritizing profit over progress while casting blame elsewhere. They've enriched themselves, while we're left with crumbling infrastructure, broken systems, and a fractured society. But this businessman's call for a revolution isn't about violence. It's about accountability. It's a demand for better leaders, better priorities, and a better future. We have been sold out, but we are not powerless. The question we face is, will we continue to accept the lies, or will we rise up, reclaim our country, and rebuild what has been broken? The choice is ours. Supporters argue Donald Trump is the right leader to address economic imbalances with China and prioritize American interests due to his aggressive trade policies, focus on domestic manufacturing, and assertive America First stance. Here's a breakdown of the 4 stages of President Trump's tariff plan to get China to the tables and show the world the art of the deal in real time. Here they are. 1. Confronting China's economic advantage. Trump's first term, 2017 to 2021, saw him impose tariffs on Chinese goods to counter what he called unfair trade practices, like intellectual property theft and currency manipulation. These tariffs aim to reduce the U.S. trade deficit with China, which was $419 billion in 2018. Supporters say this forced China to negotiate and showed he's willing to take bold steps to level the playing field. His approach contrasts with predecessors who, critics argue, were too soft on China's economic dominance. 2. America. First policy. Trump's platform emphasizes prioritizing U.S. workers and businesses. He advocates for policies like tax cuts for American companies and deregulation to incentivize firms to stay or return to the U.S. His administration's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, 2017, lowered corporate tax rates to 21%, encouraging some companies to reinvest domestically. Supporters believe this mindset, putting American jobs and industries first, will reverse decades of outsourcing to China and other countries. 3. Bringing companies back. Trump has pushed for reshoring American manufacturing, arguing that reliance on foreign supply chains, especially China's, weakens the U.S. economy and national security. He's proposed incentives for companies to relocate factories to the US and penalties for those that don't. For example, during his first term, he pressured firms like Apple to consider domestic production. Supporters see this as a way to rebuild the industrial base, create jobs, and reduce dependence on Chinese manufacturing. 4. Assertive leadership style. Trump's blunt, confrontational approach resonates with those who want a leader to challenge China head-on. His rhetoric, calling out China's trade practices and demanding reciprocity, signals strength. Supporters argue this assertiveness is necessary to counter China's growing global influence and ensure the US regains economic leverage. But that will wrap this one up, and if you got any value from this, please like and subscribe for more. Leave a comment and give me some ideas of a subject you'd like me to cover, in case you missed it.